I felt kind of tired and exhausted that day that it all happened. I found myself passing blood and vomiting blood, and this was in May of 2004. And went to the emergency room. The doctor told me that they believed I had Nash, and I had never heard of it. I asked, what does that mean? Non-alcoholic steatohepatitis.
Non-alcoholic fatty liver disease and NASH are very common in the United States. About a third, 30% of adults in the U.S. have fatty liver, increased triglycerides in their liver cells. And about 15% of those will progress to having NASH. And then as you progress further, you get to about 1 million people will develop cirrhosis.
Prior to that, I had been diagnosed with type 2 diabetes. I don't drink. I wasn't drinking then. Didn't smoke. But I was morbidly obese. I weighed over 300 pounds.
This constellation of abnormalities, obesity, diabetes, and NASH, are really a combination of metabolic abnormalities that occur together. And this is going to break the medical care budget if we don't do something about it now.
Pfizer has a long history of targeting the treatment of cardiovascular and metabolic disease with drugs that have improved the lives of many patients with metabolic disorders. It is our intent to make our mark in this area as well and leverage our expertise in metabolic disorders to improve the lives of patients with NASH.
We at Pfizer in the Internal Medicine Research Unit view NASH as fundamentally a metabolic disease. One thing we know is that the development of NASH begins with the accumulation of fat in the liver. It comes from fat which is synthesized in the liver, it comes from fat which is released by the adipocyte, circulates the blood, and is esterified in the liver, and lastly it comes from fat taken in the diet. By systematically approaching each of those three mechanisms, we will achieve the maximal potency in interfering with the accumulation of triglyceride in the liver.
Something we have learned from recent advances in the treatment of hepatitis C is that when you treat these patients with antiviral agents and you achieve the sustained virologic response, that is, you remove the insult that is causing the inflammation and the fibrotic response, you actually can allow the liver to heal itself and you get improvements in that fibrosis.
At Pfizer, we are genuinely excited about the progress we've made in developing strategies to treat NASH, and most importantly, in the potential to influence the lives of an enormous amount of patients who have this potentially life-threatening disease.
About a year later, almost to the day, I had another episode, bleeding, and went to the emergency room. My doctor was there, and he said they almost lost me.
Patients with NASH are being seen all the time in the endocrinology clinic, but endocrinologists right now don't yet have the tools to clearly identify these patients. Pfizer's hoping to change that.
What we need is a specific and highly predictive marker that can be done at the office or easily ordered, and that can identify those patients that need further evaluation or therapy. Pfizer is taking a leadership role in finding these non-invasive biomarkers to enable drug development and patient care.
I hope that they find a cure for it, or at least something that will negate it, and for future generations, not just mine, my family, but others, so they don't have to, suffer like this.